Shalom, shalom. Brothers of Great Millstone, Charlotte, back at it once more with the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. The spirit, power, and mercy of Yahweh Shem Shai. Before we get started with this lesson, as always, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Kadash. Double honors, as always, to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who taught us the truth and good well. Peace, blessings, and mercy to the house of David. Habayav Davidah, the hopeful elect. To you we say Shalom. Alright? And as we see through the spirit, alright, we're in mid-February and we're nearing serious times, man. Alright? And we're gonna continue to harp on the times and seasons that we're in. Okay, because these are very serious times. Alright, contrary to what the world perceives as a time to get back to normality, right? Normality is out the window. What you knew as normality is no more. So stop going after that false illusion of security. Alright? What we're about to enter into is Ordo ab Chaos, which has been talked of by these elites for decades. Alright? Centuries even. Alright? And they're planning to unveil this plan right before you dumbass Babylonians. Alright?
So Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me.
Right, so the Lord has the men of the Lord out here, the prophets, set up to be as watchmen for our nation, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because evidently ain't nobody else watching for y'all asses. Alright? The only thing that your quote-unquote leaders that you accept watch after is folly. Okay, but we come through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai to give you the truth, to give you reality, whether you accept it or not. You can't say that you weren't forewarned. Alright, that's the job, that's the duty of a watchman. Keep reading.
And we're giving the people a warning of the coming judgment of the Lord, man. You know, Yahweh Shem Shai is about to bring a terrible judgment upon this place, man. And we're out here to give that warning to the people so that they may prepare in the spirit, man.
Right.
You know?
And what's so beautiful about it, right? The Lord had it set up for this to happen. The Lord set up the watchman. You know? We don't just come out here on our own fruition and think, oh, okay, we're going to go out here, explain news and prophecy, and through the spirit, make these things make sense on our own understanding. No, the Lord is actually putting the spirit on men across the earth, across the four winds, as was prophesied in the scriptures, to bring you the truth. Alright? Whether you hear or you forbear. Alright, this is the actual spiritual thing that's happening. Matter of fact, let me grab this right quick. This is an ad. This is the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Ezekiel 3 and 17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. So the Lord has appointed the watchman that you see before you, man. Alright? He didn't set up the Cardi B's. He didn't set up the Megan Thee Stallions, right? These dumbass rappers, these entertainers, because that's all that Jake has is leadership. Entertainment. You don't see Colin Powell or these Condoleezza Rice, AOC. You don't see them providing actual true leadership and guidance to our nation because those aren't your real leaders. Those are puppets and pawns of these elitists. And they're going to mislead you as much as they possibly can because that's their job. The Lord didn't set them up as watchmen, but he set up the watchmen that you see standing before you, the men of the Lord. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. So it's a direct warning that the Lord will be giving to his men to go out and warn the people. Okay? It's a certain thing that will be being said in these last days. Verse 18. Matter of fact, that's a good one.
Habakkuk 2 and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me on the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me.
Right. We watch to see what the Lord will say unto us. That's what we do right now. Right? We're waiting for these prophecies to come to pass. Right? We're measuring the time diligently within itself, looking at the tokens, aligning them with what we see happening right now, because contrary to popular belief, you got all these people that believe in the Bible, but nobody ever thinks that we're living in biblical times. They just read the book and they don't understand what's going on right now.
Hey, because none of these other philosophies can prepare you for the reality of the scriptures, man. You know, for the reality of the judgment that's about to come, man. For the reality of the mindset of Yahweh Shai coming into this place, man. You know, he's coming to uproot all wickedness, man. Everything that moves contrary to what's written in these scriptures. But the people, they don't have that reality because they ultimately weren't opened up to that spirit, man.
They don't have the comforter. They never received the comforter.
Habakkuk 2:1 in the latter. And will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write this vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Write this vision and make it plain upon tables. Breaking down the scriptures, breaking down the understanding so that it's made plain to those that are able to receive this word. You see? Because nobody's able, we got a bulk of our people that are unable to receive this word, and they look at us like we crazy, right? But it wasn't made plain unto them. You see? This word was made plain unto the holy, the separated, the ones that were afforded this from the beginning of time. Okay? The predestinated. Lord willing, we be those ones that were predestinated from the heavens if we continue to endure. May Yahweh B'Shem Shai be with us all the way to the end.
Look at that word run in the blue letter. It says, to hence to lead up hastily, to bring quickly. You know, so basically move hastily, man, to hasten your time, man. You know, to have a sense of urgency about your movements. You know, all these things, all these prophecies that are being made plain upon tables are being done so the elect can move quickly and with purpose, man. You know, because the majority of these people out here are walking in gross darkness. You know, they're moving with no true purpose. The only real purpose is to serve Yahweh B'Shem Shai, and that's what the men of the Lord are out here, prophesying about, man. You know, breaking down all these various prophetic events, so that the people may inquire and then take heed.
Right. Well said.
So I'll continue on. Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is set for an appointed time.
Right, so the prophecies are set for an appointed time. Okay, you get that in 2nd Ezra where it makes mention of the 7 measures being filled. Because you got a lot of our people that reject this word because it's not happening on their time. You know? You have Jake in the world and they're like, well, shit. Actually, the scriptures speak about that. Right? Let me grab that right there. While you getting that, I'm going to grab this right fast. Ezekiel 12 and verse 22. Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel? Okay, we know Israel is a people before it is a place. This is speaking of the Israelites and what they speak. Okay? The days are prolonged and every vision faileth. Alright? So you got Jake in the world that'll hear this truth and they'll be like, man, these prophecies ain't coming to pass. You know? They don't see the times and seasons. They're not measuring the time. But they have the audacity and nerve to say, well, look, it ain't happening. It ain't happening on your time, nigga. Because it's all happening on accordance with what the Lord has planned. You know, it's all happening at the will and pace of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Verse 23. Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, because what was written in the scriptures aforetime is going to come to pass in our lifetime. Okay? Because you got a lot of dumbass people that have this thinking to say that won't happen, and they'll acknowledge the severity of the times we in. They'll acknowledge the times that we're in, but they'll try and pass it off to their kids' generation. Well, that ain't gonna happen in my lifetime. That'll happen in my kids' lifetime. Niggas, you serious? And these be the same niggas that have no understanding of geopolitics, socioeconomics, but got everything in the world to say about the state of the world, and that's because they don't want to accept reality.
And they don't understand that the Lord is speaking of time for the elect's sake, man. You know, they don't understand that knowledge has been increased in the earth. You know, so going into Esau, you know, what type of wartime propaganda and games that they would play back in the early 1900s, those things speedily and they ramp up, man. You know, what would take years is now taking months to take place, man.
Exactly.
You know, so all these things are being sped up, you know, so that the Lord can come and redeem his elect, man.
That's right. Continue on. But say unto them, the days are at hand and the effect of every vision. All right, so prophecy is to be fulfilled, and that's the times we're in right now. We grab it right quick. And I'll finish this one. We'll jump back.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 4, and verse 37.
And that's why, as we read in Ephesians, the 5th chapter, in last night's lesson, right? The importance to understand the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is it will take your mindset to a new height, okay? It'll take your approach at life to the proper direction that it needs to be in, man. Because when you understand the will of the Lord, you understand exactly what the hell is going on in life. You're not going to be left out here like these people that see the stuff going on in Ukraine, that see the stuff going on with Russia, these spy balloons, these psyops, these enchantments and distractions. You won't get caught off. Because if you understand the will of the Lord, you're not going to be out here looking foolish. Isaiah 33:6. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time.
So, 2nd Ezra chapter 4 and verse 37. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times. And he doth not move, nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled.
Right, the Lord has everything already written out to play. All right? What we're doing right now is literally playing out a whole script. This is the scriptures, right? And we're playing out the script in real time. All right, the Lord has it set up to where things are set up to take place at specific appointed times, and he's not going to touch it. All right? But understand that these things will come to pass. For you simple-minded jakes, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that feel like, oh, well, the Lord he ain't doing it on my timetable, so I gotta go ahead and do what I gotta do. I gotta take care of what I gotta take care of. You know what I'm saying? That's a simple-minded way to think. Okay? That's a doubtful mindset. And that sadly is the mindset of a lot of our people.
And people don't understand that everything that goes on this earth is centered around prophecy, man.
Right.
You know, prophecy is that measuring stick. You know, that's how we know that we're coming to those end times, man, that we're close, you know, to the appearing of Yahweh Shai, man. Because we see the various prophecies coming to place, man. But we understand that we have to continue to wait and watch, man. Because we're not there yet. You know, we still have World War III to go through. We still have Jacob's trouble. We still have the MOTV. You know, but the prophecies are that measuring stick to how we can tell what time we're in.
That really shows Jake disdain for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Because if they actually had respect and reverence for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai as we do, right? We bear it. You know, we hasten the return of our Lord, but we get it. You know? We ain't looking at the Lord like, oh, it's taking too long. You know what I'm saying? We going according to the Lord's pace and we understand it. But now these be the same niggas that'll wait for Esau to drop that check bi-weekly, weekly, monthly. You know what I'm saying? They don't rise up at Esau like, man, you taking too long with my check, bro. I work today. Where my payday at? You know what I'm saying?
And that's why scriptures say, woe to them who have lost patience, man. You know, patience is a key thing in this thing, man. You know, because we have to wait. Because we still have to prove ourselves to the Lord, man. We still have to endure the afflictions, man. That's why it says he will be saved out of Jacob's trouble, man. Not before, you know. We're going to be in the midst, man.
That's right. Jumping back to Ezekiel 12 and 24. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. Okay? So all that naysaying, scoffing, scorning, that's your truth. That ain't my truth. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit is going to be stopped because, as I said, matter of fact, let me pull up this quote. Right? This is this quote that I have found on the internet, and it speaks truth. Right? It's from Ayn Rand. It says you can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. You see? So though Jake is out here, you know, trying to speak out against this truth, or try and avoid it, you're not going to be able to avoid the consequences of turning away from the truth. Because Yahweh Shai said in Luke 13:3, I tell ye nay, lest ye repent or perish. So the Lord told you, look, either you're going to get with this word, you're going to hear this truth and accept it, or you're going to die. The Lord, and see, that's people fail to realize the message and the stern message that the Lord had 2,000 years ago. They failed to realize what he was saying. It's a reason why they killed him. They ain't just kill him because he was a nice guy. It was because of the message that he brought forth and how stern it was. The truth in a world full of lies.
He said he coming from the volume of the book. It was written of him.
That's right.
When he was on the earth, he fulfilled those prophecies that was written of him. Right? That's why you got the scriptures such as Isaiah, all the major minor prophets foretold the coming of the Messiah. Right? Matter of fact, can I add on to that? Look at Micah 5. Micah 5, we'll get verses. Even the prophet Isaiah, was Isaiah 7:14. It was talking about how the virgin would conceive and give birth to a man. You know, that was Yahweh Shai. You know, God is with us. You know, so all like Yahweh Shai said, Luke 24, 44 and down. Right? Matter of fact, get that verse, Luke 24. Right? And I believe it's 44 and down. He says it himself. And all the prophets spoke about it, spoke of him. You know? That's why he said, think not that I come to destroy the law, but to fulfill. Right? He fulfilled the prophecies. He was the sacrificial lamb. Right? Go ahead.
So Luke chapter 24 and verse 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all these things must be fulfilled.
All these things must be fulfilled. The prophecies that were written of him. All these things must be fulfilled. This is what he was telling the disciples. Go ahead.
Which were written in the law of Moses.
Which were written in the law of Moses. Old Testament. Right? Go ahead.
And in the prophets.
And in the prophets. Go ahead.
And in the Psalms.
And in the Psalms, it's written in the book of Psalms. You can read about it in Psalm 22. Where it goes into his crucifixion. You know? Go ahead.
Concerning me.
Concerning Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures.
Yeah, so at that point, the Lord made the understanding clear. He opened their mind to receive he opened the mind of the disciples to receive these prophecies, the scriptures clearly. They were no longer parabolic. What's the point? Give one more. That was it. Go to Micah 5 and 2. He's just making his sound, land back. I'm trying to come in the morning. Testify to him.
Micah chapter 5 and verse 1. Now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. He hath laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek.
Yeah, they should smite the judge. So Michael was prophesying what happened to Yahweh Shai. They should smite the judge of Israel upon the cheek. That's fulfilling what was written in Matthew 27. Right? It says they smote him on the head, man. When he was rounded up by those 600, I believe it was 600 Roman soldiers. You know, they parted his garment. You know, when you read about that before he went on his trial. You know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It says, but thou Bethlehem, Ephrathah,
Right.
thou art, it's like, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me.
Yep.
That is to be ruler in Israel.
Right. That was Yahushua. Michael was prophesying about Yahushua. The ruler in Israel, Genesis 49, man, it tells you that the scepter should not depart from Judah. Right? Because out of Judah came what? The Messiah. All right? Out of the line of David. Go ahead.
Whose goings forth have been from whose goings forth have been from of old.
All right, whose goings forth have been from of old. Go ahead.
From everlasting.
Yeah, from everlasting, meaning Yahushua was from the beginning. Right? Can I ask some more, brother? Proverbs 8 and 22. Right? He was the first spirit creator. Right? I'm gonna pass it back to you. We want to feed the point that what? That Yahushua, as he said, I come in the volume of the book. Right? You got to have the understanding, you got to have the spirit, something with you to receive it, because you got Jake that claim to be Israelites. They're talking about they don't believe in the New Testament, right? They're all about the Old Testament. Well, hold on. Yahushua is written in all the New Testament. Right? It's written in chapter 8 and verse 22 that is Yahushua. It was read by the Father too, that his goings are from everlasting. He was the first spirit created by the Heavenly Father himself. The first high priest in the heavens. Right? Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 8, and I'll start up at verse 21. That I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Verse 22, the Lord Yahweh possessed me in the beginning of his ways.
See that? The Lord Yahweh possessed me from the beginning of his ways. That's Yahushua, man. Go ahead.
Before his works of old.
Before his works of old, before creation itself. Yahushua was the first spirit created. That's heavy, man. Right?
Before his old works. I was there.
Come on, man. Yahushua, I tell you, I was there with him. He was beside the Father.
He got the blueprint.
Come on, man. Go ahead. You don't like 5 more verses.
God. Verse 23. I will set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was.
Right, see? Once again, you can link that up with Micah 5 and 2. He said his goings were from everlasting. He's from the beginning. Right? Read that again for me, Doc.
God. Proverbs 8 and 23.
Yep.
I will set up from everlasting, from the beginning,
Yep.
or ever the earth was.
Yeah, or ever worked, so before the earth was even created, and how about that? Go ahead.
When there were no depths, I was brought forth.
Right, that's why Yahushua told the Pharisees, I am from above, and you are from beneath. That went over their head. Right, go ahead.
When there was no fountains abounding with water.
Yep.
Before the mountains were settled.
Before the mountains were settled.
Before the hills was I brought forth.
Before the hills he was brought forth. Go ahead.
Verse 26. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there.
See that? Hey, that's Yahushua. He was there from the beginning. That's the point. So that was it. Just wanted to make that point. You know, land back on what you said about Yahushua. You know, being part of the coming in the volume of the book. Right? So you got Doctor.
We jump back to that Ezekiel.
Right.
Still holding on.
Everything you said, everything is centered around prophecy. Right?
Right. Verse 25. For I am the Lord Yahweh. I will speak in the world, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord Yahweh power.
Hey, that rebellious house, those spirits are back on the earth today, man. You know, so when it says in your days, he's talking about right now, man. He wasn't talking about back then during that first Roman Empire, man. No, he's talking about in the revived Roman Empire, Babylon the Great, you know, and its subsidiaries, you know. Everything that Yahushua was speaking It's talking about the times that we're standing in right now, man.
Right.
And all those prophecies are coming to pass.
Right, and it's needed. Like it's genuinely needed for the Lord to perform these works. We live in an idiocracy. You got a bunch of niggas out here that have a platform and a voice to just spew out madness. And it's accepted, it's upheld. But as soon as you promote anything of sense and concrete knowledge and information, niggas look at you like you're crazy. You know? That's why we need the Lord to perform these works in these times, man. It's imperative. Because as the brother Kwanawaf has said before, quoting Matthew 24 and 22, that the days be shortened for the elect's sake, or there will be no flesh saved. Showing you the severity of where we're at with this shit, man. Okay? Continuing on, verse 26. Again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come. And he prophesieth of the times that are far off.
You know, that not in my lifetime spirit, man. You know, even though you see all these things coming to pass, you can understand that you're watching the downfall of an empire, but you still believe that it's going to happen some long distance down the future, man.
Right.
You know, when we can see that this place is on its last seconds, man. You know, that as the doomsday clock, you know, says, man, we're, what was it?
90 seconds.
90 seconds to midnight, man. You know, to the destruction of this place, man.
And that's referencing nuclear destruction. Okay? And there's gonna be things that, as prophecy is said to be fulfilled, take place prior to the destruction. Right? Two of which, being major, is the MOTB, that implantable device that's gonna be mandated, right? That's being talked of at these World Economic Forum meetings, as well as World War III. These are things that were prophesied in the scriptures to take place prior to the utter destruction of Babylon. Okay, America. All right, so as the brother Kwanawaf has said, that not in my day spirit, hey, the Lord gonna shut all that shit up, man. All right? Because you niggas have boasted yourselves up to think that you're never gonna be touched. You know? So much to the point where you will look at the state of the world and steer it off to the next generation. Instead of you taking initiative and saying, you know what? We need to do something about it. You know? Because through the Spirit has, you know, quickened us to take initiative, man. You know? To exhort our people to turn back, you know? To put off the old man. All right? To put off the weak nature. You know, to prepare for these things, to prepare for the coming of our Lord. And none of these other leaders are telling you about these things. Niggas will tell you about stupid shit before they tell you about what really matters. Your salvation. That conversation is null and void in our communities. You know? And it's going to be of a detriment to an overwhelming majority.
Yeah, scriptures talk about they have not, what's the word, conceived of their latter end, you know? And that, speaking on Esau, but, you know, Jake, you know, 2/3 of Israel are in the, they take the same spirit of Esau either, man. They follow in the same ways. You know, so they're not considering the latter end, man. They're not considering the judgment that's going to befall them for their faults, man. You know, they're not acknowledging their offenses and coming back to serve the Lord. Instead, you know, they're doubling down, man. You know, they're tempting the Lord, and the Lord is going to you know, righteously judge them, man, accordingly.
Hey, you know what's heavy too? I think like the head of the World Bank just stepped down today. You know, knowing whether I do a lesson on it. But it came out in the news that the CEO of the World Bank stepped down. So we've been telling you for the longest, they're getting ready to crash this economy, right? That's why you're living in a society where cash is digital, right? Cash, paper dollars is no longer accepted, right? That credit card, that debit card will be done away with. So, hey, once again, how are we going to buy and sell with sin?
I have something to add to this. It's an article from the U.S. Today, posted today at 3 o'clock Eastern. Debt limit forecast says the U.S. could default by the summertime. The U.S. Treasury will run out of money to pay government bills such as Social Security and military paychecks this summer, but there's no way to tell exactly what day yet.
Yeah, see? Come on, man. All the signs. Hey, like they said, the proof is in the pudding, man. All right? This dollar bill, all right? This fiat currency, this petrodollar is done, man. Right? And the world is in a world of hell at that point. Because there's no way that we have plenty of time left, man. This devil is doing way too much right now, man. There's way too much going on right now for us to have a lot of time left, man. Right?
That's what I had said about at the top of the lesson. This is that auto ad KO. This is like the beginning stages of his auto ad KO, trimming the herd, bottlenecking you simple-minded people to accept willingly his plans.
Yeah.
Because he's stripping every bit of freedom that you know away from you, to where you're gonna be like, damn, I want it. I want it. That's why you had Klaus Schwab, that quote from the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and be happy. These are what these elitists are telling you at these summits. But what is Jake concerned with? Folly. That's why the scriptures say folly is set in great dignity. Niggas gonna look toward bullshit instead of what really matters, man.
Yeah, that shit, that train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, that's about to change the game. Right? You're talking about acid rain, you're talking about water supplies all throughout the East Coast affected. Man, this shit about to get real, Jay. We told you, man. This devil came with it. Right? And it ain't a coincidence, all these trains, derailing in different states. With hazardous chemicals. All these trains got hazardous chemicals on them. But then in the movies, once again, right, like one of the elder brothers said, GMS is the camp that put everybody on how to spiritually look at these movies. Right? Movies, White Boys, other movies that show the trains derailing with toxic chemicals in it, that got into the water that affected the people. Come on, man. Right, this is a pure devil, man.
He start pulling out all the stops, man.
Come on, man.
Because he knows he has a short time. As scripture say, the devils believe and do tremble, man.
That's right.
So they feel the presence of Yahweh Shai entering into the world, man. So that's why they're ramping up all efforts to maintain their kingdom, man.
That's right, man.
Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 28. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, there shall none of my words be prolonged anymore, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord Yahweh power.
Hey, the word of the Lord shall be done, man. That's a definitive statement, It's not might, it's not could be, it shall be, man. It's just a matter of time before all these things come to pass, man. And that's what we're hastening that day, man. We're hastening the day where all these prophecies come to pass, man. We're hastening the coming of Yahweh Shai to destroy this wicked kingdom, man. And because we understand the will of the Lord. He wants to set up Israel as the preeminent superpower in the earth.
That's right.
He's about to completely overthrow all wickedness, man. And that's the days that we're hastening, that we look so feverishly for, man.
Right, and you don't want that? Hey, the scriptures say, when the righteous bear fruit, the people rejoice. Even you heathen nations gonna rejoice, man. Because, hey, the elder up in Chicago made a beautiful point. He said, in this system, you got the haves and the have-nots. In the kingdom, you're gonna have the haves and the have-less. It's gonna be a proper balance. It's gonna be orchestrated under the law, statutes, and commandments, the proper way how we're to live. This man's kingdom can't go on forever, man. Okay? And we're hastening that day because we're tired of this shit. We're tired of the wickedness. We're tired of Esau's hegemony being established on the earth because it's shown forth that it don't bear fruit. It don't bear fruit for anything profitable. Okay? This is an unfit ruler. You get that, go back to that house. Unless you go to this one. Go again.
That's why in Matthew 24:22, if the Lord will come, no flesh will be saved, man. Right? This nigga will have everybody fucking cyborgs, slash, trans, wickedness, man. So, hey, you gotta go, right? You gotta go.
This is Proverbs chapter 10, verse 16. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life.
The labor of the righteous tendeth to life, man. The works that we're doing, Lord willing, we be of that elect number, are tending to life, man. They're tending to immortality, man. Tending to the earth, being in its full power, man. All these works that we do, the time we spend, the research, everything that we do in this ministry is tending to life, man.
The destruction of the poor is their poverty. Salaki. Verse 16 in the latter, the fruit of the wicked to sin.
Right. Those wicked seeds that Esau Edom has planted across the earth, man, is tending to seed, man. That fruit is tending to sin.
Yep.
And what's the wages of sin, man? Death. So everything that they do, everything they touch, tends to death, man. That's why he has to be completely done away with, man.
Exactly. The scriptures say that he's what? The border of wickedness. Meaning wherever Esau go, wickedness is found. And he is in control of the earth. That's why you see mass death, mass casualties. It's not coincidental. It's because of the powers that be that the Lord has acted. Ultimately, the Lord has established his devil because ultimately to fulfill prophecy.
You don't want to give him an hour.
And to show forth that this devil isn't fit to rule. That the law, statutes, and commandments are supreme. He tried to figure out a modern way, a new way to twist life on how to operate, and this shit ain't working. So ultimately, we're gonna see what's gonna be the end of it, and that's nuclear destruction. Go back to that.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is set for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
Right. These scriptures, they are faithful and true, man. And we sincerely believe that. Because ain't shit else to believe in. Everything else is a fucking lie. The only thing that's true and faithful are these scriptures. The things that have stood the test of time, and it's undeniable. You can link up these scriptures with actual historical events. You can't do that with the Quran. You can't do that with the tarot cards. You can't do that with Buddha. You can't do that with any of these Krishna, Shiva. You know what I'm saying? All these texts that these false idols people are caught up in, it can't be backed. And it's gonna stand the time once more, as it's doing right now. So hey, we're remaining locked into the spirit. And we exhort our people to do the same thing because we're coming into serious times. You can feel it. You can actually feel this shit. If you can't feel it, you must be out of your damn mind. You can literally feel the vibration of the earth right now. Everyone feels tense. Something is going on. But through the spirit, we have that understanding. We have that eyesight to see what's happening and then to know what's going to become of it at the end.
Sirach chapter 24, verse 33 reads, it says, I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy and leave it to all ages forever. All right, so we are still in the time and the age of prophecy. Right, Esau tell you we live in modern times, throw out the Bible, you know what I'm saying? That's not it's not relevant no more. No, we are in the time of prophecy, man. That never changed. Right? We are in the last days, which is part of prophecy. Right? The time of what? The end of the rule of the wicked. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, man. Hey, get excited, goddammit. We about to rule forever. Esau mad as hell.
You about to live how you supposed to.
Exactly. Right? You want that birthright, man. You're trying to get rid of Jacob. It's not going to happen, man. See that? Hey, Romans, the 9th chapter, pertaining to the adoption, giving of the covenants, the laws, all right, the ordinances, the promises, man. Right? And you can close the scriptures after that. Right? That ain't never changed. Malachi, 3 and 6. I, the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob shall never be consumed. Come on, man. The hell with some supersessionism, some replacement theology, which is the core base foundation of Christianity, right? That's dead now, man. Talking about, hey, Esau got articles coming out talking about some, it's time for a Christian revival. It's time for Christianity to make a comeback. You out your damn mind, man. All right? Christianity is outdated, played out, whacked, done away with, man.
There's too much information.
There's too much information out, man.
It's way too much information for you to still be going to these Christian churches in 2023 with a computer in your pocket. You was a dumb nigga. Unfortunately, you are retarded.
Well, Scripture says people are willing to ignorant.
Back in Habakkuk 2 and verse 3 from the top. For the vision is set for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak.
Drop that Jeremiah 28.
Loud as hell.
They yelling loud and see, these prophecies are speaking. The elder just said, prophecy is the news. When you turn on your tape, when you turn on your TV, when you look at your cell phone and you get your little buzz, your alerts, know that this is prophecy, man. This is prophecy coming to pass, because when you look up the word news, it simply just means new things. Okay? Yeah. When you look up the word news, it just means new thing in the etymology.
It's Isaiah 42 and 9. And it reads, it says, behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. I tell you of them.
The spiritual forecast is given to the prophets before it comes to pass, man. You see? We knew that these things would come to pass. So when we turn on the news, we see these new things. We're not caught off guard. We read about it. But to the rest of the world, they're like, oh, how is this happening? You know what I'm saying? We knew this shit was gonna happen. You know?
Right. We knew it was gonna happen.
We knew it was gonna happen.
We knew it was gonna happen already, man.
The Lord got us tapped in like it's a rigged game. Rigged parlays.
Exactly.
So Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old.
Right, and this is the scriptures. The scriptures are detailing the nature of the prophets that were in the scriptures, man. Even right now, it's telling you of the fashion and what they would speak of in their times. You ready?
Prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms.
Which we do now. We're prophesying against a great kingdom. Babylon, America. In the scriptures known as Babylon the Great, spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt, right? Mystery Babylon. This is seen as a great kingdom that can never fall. Nobody thinks that no way that America will be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. But the prophecies tell us these things. And we prophesy against this kingdom. You read it?
Prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Wars, evils, pestilence. When you turn on that damn news, what you see? Wars, evils, pestilence. It's undeniable. And these are the prophecies that are spoken of before time. So what's different now? What's different? That's right. Grab 2nd Ezra 15 right there. 2nd Ezra 15 and 4. These scriptures are faithful and true, man.
So 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Right, so those that refuse to believe in this truth, to believe in this gospel, this good news, you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that comprise of the 12 tribes of Israel, you're gonna die. There you go.
So 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 1. Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy.
Right, this is what the watchmen were appointed to do. As we have read in Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, Ezekiel the 3rd chapter at the top of the lesson, This is what the Lord is instructing us to do. When we come out on these highways and hedges, we post videos on the unicorn. You know, this is what is instructed of us. Can you read it?
Which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
Right. We're not speaking out of our own mouths. You know, we're speaking by way of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Right?
And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Right. The word of the Lord is faithful and true. It's undeniable. You know?
Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Right. Incredulity, disbelief. You know? Because, hey, you got to remember, we are behind enemy lines, man. And it's a lot of people that don't believe in this word, more than those that do. You see? The scriptures say what? Many are called, but few are chosen. It's a lot of people that don't believe in this word.
Yep.
But as it says in Romans 3, and, matter of fact, let me get that. Romans 3 and 3.
Well, that's why the prophets are going to be silent in that time. Because the days are evil. The scriptures say that. When this shit hit the fan for real, we ain't saying nothing. Because we told you. Right? Hey, right at that time it's going to be hot. So you're going to definitely have to be moving in wisdom. Right? We don't know nothing.
Yeah, the time of talking is going to be over, man. It's going to be all action. You know?
Hey, I see you out there. I see you on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Oh, what's up?
Not a damn team.
Me? Me? You sure that was me? Let me get this for you right quick. Romans 3 and 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai without effect? God forbid. Yeah. Let Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mayest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
Hey, we're going to be justified. How are we going to be justified? Yahushua, man. We will tell you the truth. Out of our mouths came no guile, no deception, no gimmicks. We ain't out here rapping, none of that bullshit. We gave you the truth directly and correctly. Right? That's just supposed to say, 2 Timothy, rightly dividing the word of truth. Right? So there ain't no excuse, no cloak. John 15. Right? So, hey, we gave it to you. Guess what? Now the blood is off our hands. We've done our part, basically. Right?
Go back.
Back in 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
The sword, famine, death, and destruction. This is what the Lord is telling you will come at the last days.
You got hot dogs,
You see? You got the sword, war going on, famine. You know? I was watching this report from Redact, and they were pretty much going into how with the supply chain that you're seeing the effects come now years down the line. But in doing so, you have these first world countries that are pretty much stripping the access to foods from these third world countries. So famine is increasing on the earth, but these Babylonians, they don't bat an eye to it because shit's still sweet for them. You know? The shit gonna hit the fan relatively soon for you as well.
Take care, man. Second Ezra 15 and verse 6, verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Death, right? You got people walking around, dropping dead suddenly from that shit up in their bodies, right? Massive people died over in Turkey, right? You had that incident pop off. These are the things that were told of in the scriptures,
They
man.
have nothing.
It's undeniable. Everybody's got something to say against the scriptures, but the scriptures is confounding everything these niggas gotta say.
Like we said, there's many opinions, but no works. Right? Everybody got something to say. You pop up on the comment board, right? You're saying what you're saying on the live feeds, but your channel is fruitless. Right? Where's your videos at? refuting what was being said. Man.
Tell me the right way.
Right, tell us the right way since you got an opinion, right? But that's Jake for your ass, man.
Verse 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth,
All talk, no works. Go ahead.
and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Right. The wickedness after you gotta.
No, read it again.
2 Ezra 15 and verse 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole world, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yeah, we're at the pinnacle, the climax, man, of wickedness, man. All right? Hey, this is the worst the earth has ever been. Right? So that's how we know in the spirit. Right? The moment the agenda of the alphabeticals is normalized, right? You know, teaching kids that they can change genders and all that. Like you said, what was the joint you brought out a while back? You talked about how it's this thing coming out now where these kids, these teenagers calling them the D-transitioners.
Oh yeah. You got a lot of people because this transition shit is fairly new. You know, it hasn't been going on but for maybe what, 2 or 3 decades.
Right.
So now you're starting to see people on the back burner that have matured in their minds, and they're like, "Fuck, I was tweaked out." You know what I'm saying? I was being misled by the people that I looked up to say that what I thought of was normal, and now I regret what I did. You know, so now they're trying to encourage those that are promoting this lifestyle that's wicked and not conducive to life to stop promoting that shit.
Exactly.
But they're not gonna stop.
And these teenagers that are D-transitioners, they're regretting their choices, their life choices they made.
Right.
You cut your route off. You got women that cut off their breasts.
And you doing that shit at 8, you don't even know what the fuck, you don't even, bro.
12 years old, man.
And you know what's crazy? You had the U.S. Surgeon General, right? The U.S. Surgeon General say that it's dangerous for children to have access to social media. But yet you're pumping this nonsense down their throat as children that they can go ahead and get a change to their sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Bullshit, man.
Hey, that's why Donald Trump went in on that interview. You know what I'm saying? Talk about the disgrace of how he's gonna change all that, get rid of all that shit. Anybody that promotes the use of children changing their shit, you know, you gonna be banned. You know, he was going in, man. $10 you know, but we already know that's all controlled out at the end of the day. But hey, what he was saying was facts, right? Something gotta change, but it ain't gonna change for the better. The change gonna come is when the Lord destroys this fucking place. Right?
That's a telltale sign, you know, that tells you this is the land of great confusion, man.
Right.
You know, all these philosophies, further down the line, you have people that show great remorse and regret, man. You know, whether it be feminism, whether it be the trans movement, whether it be, you know, the jab. You got jab remorse, man. You got people who are going to be remorseful because they took the C hit, man. You know, everything that Babylon the Great pushes, eventually people come to their right minds and say, oh, that was wrong.
Yeah.
But it's going to be too late, man.
That's why I get that in Jeremiah 51 where it says the nations are mad. That's part of it. Right? Here in America and abroad. Right?
Jeremiah 51 and verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad.
Right, so Babylon is responsible for making all the earth drunken through its wicked wines and philosophies, Satanism, transformism, and alphabeticals, right? All these wicked and degenerate energies, you know, mindset that they push, the world is drunken. Look at the people here. And it said, therefore the nations are mad. And that's twofold. Because these people have literally lost their damn minds. Society has literally gone fucking mad.
Well, I saw this video earlier today. It was this lady that worked at Starbucks, and she had like a whole anxiety attack at Starbucks. She was like, you know, I just find it strange that they have this little pin on me and says, call me they, them, there, and they don't call me that. You know, it just makes me want to kill myself. It makes me angry. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, these mindsets have been esteemed as something of value. And now we're starting to see the byproduct of it, man.
Esau was in the forefront. Esau was at the forefront of pushing all this shit in the earth. Hey, but you got to go back to the source of the problem. The Edomite, man. He is responsible for polluting the minds of the planet, the people of the planet Earth. Right? Through this way that he's pushed, this is why the people's minds are gone. Right?
Hey, you even go back to Cain and Abel, man. No, Jacob and Esau. Esau regretted, giving up that birthright, man. He moved according to his flesh. And now, all those things he's doing right now are him trying to scratch and claw to get that birthright back, man. And in the meantime, he's trying to put everybody in the same mental state that he's in, man.
He was thinking about it when he was eating that red pottage. He probably thinking about what he did, and when he got done, he realized he fucked up, probably threw the bowl and shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's why he said, and from that point, he was going to slay his brother Jacob. He said he despised his birthright, man. He regarded it as being worthless, as it was nothing, right? But the Lord put the spirit on him, all right, to do it. And plus, Jacob and Esau had a lawful agreement at the end of the day. Yeah, he got supplanted, right? Which was ultimately the will of Yahweh Shemel Shai. He put the spirit on his mother, all right, to do it. But Jacob and Esau, what did they do? They swore on it. They had a law. They had a covenant, basically, lawful agreement. Like, look, I give you this, give me the birthright. Esau was like, bet. And the story is as it's told. You got it.
So back in 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 7. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit.
There's no shame. Like the wickedness in society is so terrible. There's no shame within both parties, man or woman. There's no shame. This internet has fully whacked people the hell out, man. Like, the internet has ruined niggas, man. Right? So there's no shame in anything that people do anymore, man.
I saw somebody post a video. It was like, the shit that niggas do today on the internet, you would have had to pay niggas to go on shows like Fear Factor and commit these acts. Niggas just do it for clout. Niggas do this shit for free.
See what on it reads. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Souls of the just complain. If you're not in the spirit of complaining to Yahweh Shemel Shai continually, you ain't right, man. Every day, man, we complain to the Lord, man. Because we want righteousness, we want the kingdom, we want true justice. Right? So a real man of the Lord, a real servant of Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to continue to complain or cry out, man.
Oppression making the wise man mad, man. Brothers wake up every morning and like, God damn, man, we still in this motherfucker. Right. Like, that's the spirit you gotta be in, man. You have to hasten the coming of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. He can't come fast enough. But we understand that prophecy has to take place until that happens, man. So we gotta continue to endure, and do this work, man.
Jeremiah 8:20 it says, Jeremiah 8:20 says, the harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. We gotta grind it out. We gotta continue to be patient, man. Right? But as brothers have been going into this mighty camp lesson, man, the days are drawing so much closer that the Yahweh Shai is very near. We really ain't got a lot of time. You can see it. Right?
Second Ezra 15 in verse 9. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them. And receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
Right, so you Jakes that talk about reparations, you know what I'm saying? The so-called white man atoning for his acts of degeneracy and vile crimes against humanity, against us tribes, you thinking that you're gonna get retribution on this side, you're sorely mistaken, man. All of that is gonna come by way of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? And you dumbass niggas gonna be found on the opposite side at that. Ain't that a bitch?
9 reads, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land.
Listen, bro.
No, I'm all good. I got it.
All right, bro. You don't want to hear this word. It's cool.
2nd Ezra 15 and verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof.
Right, and that's what you see happening now. Okay? The plagues are not slack. Okay? These plagues that you see happening, it's not coincidental that you're seeing 7 fucking train derailments. Okay? That's not coincidental that you're seeing week after week a report of numerous people dying. It's not coincidental that you're seeing these things happen at a rapid pace. We in mid-February. But that's the times and seasons we're in, man. The plagues are hitting this bitch repeatedly to where it's inescapable. Jump to chapter 16, 37.
The plague too is another bird flu. You know, there's another there's a bird flu, but I forgot what the other one was. But you saw, you create more biochemical,
And this shit don't surprise us. We know the times and seasons we in. You know what I'm saying? To the world, they probably like, damn, look like, again? That's if these niggas is paying attention, right? They probably like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have the spirit to actually see through all the madness. They don't understand the will of the Lord. That's why it's imperative to.
So the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack.
Right, the plagues draw nigh and they aren't slack, man. These plagues are hitting this bitch hard, heavy. Every article, damn near every other article you read, it says somehow how this can impact you, how to prepare. You're like, damn, I just want to check the news feed. But that's the new thing. These things are going to impact you. Whether you choose to accept reality, you're going to ultimately face the consequences of reality. All right, thank you, sir. You as well.
2nd Ezra 16 and 38.
Nah, he might have been trying. He could have got emotional.
It's like he knew about it. So
Yeah.
he looked at the campsite.
He could have.
And that's another thing, man. You guys talk about the campsite, man. The campsite is prophecy, Ezekiel 37. What was the stick, man? Right? Was it an actual stick? You know? Come on, man. James just want to find shit to argue about, man.
That camp sign is like it's like a magnet to
Yeah,
somebody's
it's
eye.
a bait. It's like, draw object in. And then it even tells you in the prophecy, what do you mean by the sign? Like it actually says that. Like, what do you mean by this sign? You explain, where we follow that, we should follow, how we do.
That's showing you Jake's not concerned with the sheep, man. That's why they can go out and mislead them, man. That's why they can take these different bribes and payments, from various
If you're gonna, that's why I said that.
different groups that compromise.
Yeah, it's all about clout, man.
Yeah.
It's all about clout. You got these damn debates. That's another thing too. When the sea hit the sea, right? It ain't gonna be no debate behind that. It ain't gonna be no debate when he make this thing law and constitution, man. Where it's mandatory that you gotta take this thing. Ain't gonna be no debates. Ain't gonna be like, well, that could be it. No, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, but you know the sad thing, niggas gonna be so prideful that they gonna try to debate it. They're gonna try and dispute their cause to save face.
Yeah.
But at that point, nigga, you go on way left. You misleading the flock to the highest degree. But it's a sad reality because the scriptures tell us that it's gonna be false prophets. They're going to play out their role to the T.
It's going to haul it to
Yeah.
2nd Ezra 16 and 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb.
Right. Those contractions when a woman is giving birth to a child, them shits get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. The window of time to each plague is getting closer and closer, man. Okay? All leading up to the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. These plagues are literally like contractions when a woman is giving birth. That's why these shits hitting back to back. Brothers was chopping it up. And we was just, in the spirit, just, breaking bread on what we saw in the media and the news. And we was like, damn. When we was chopping up, we was like, damn, it was another derailment. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe like an hour before we started rapping. You know what I'm saying?
So working.
Prophecy being fulfilled.
Hey, the Lord said only now he will let it relent until it be taken out of the way. So Esau got to do more bullshit. He got to do more wickedness. He got to set more shit off, bring more corruption, because he's fulfilling the left hand.
That's right.
Right? He's the left hand of the Most High. So the Lord has put the Spirit on him to do these things, to fulfill the prophecies of the left hand before the Lord takes his ass out of the way. He's going to use you and to get rid of you. Right? Because he is the sword. He's going to use the weapon to get rid of you. Right. Throw it in the lake.
You served your purpose.
That's it. Exactly.
It's continuing on, it reads.
That's why the scriptures say in Obadiah, thy pride has certainly deceived thee. Right? Because Esau thinks he's acting in his own will. Right? He thinks that he's bringing forth his new world order. He thinks that he's bringing forth his see him. No, that's the Lord see him. He put the spirit of you devils to create the technology to harness the energy in the body to control somebody's nervous system, the spirit, man. All right? That's the power of the Most High. You didn't come up with that yourself. You didn't come up with the idea to split the atom and to create this nuclear weaponry that we see today. That was the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai that gave you that knowledge in order, it allowed you to create that technology.
Man's goings are the Lord.
How can man truly understand his weapon?
Esau be trying his hardest to understand that shit. But then even then, he's showing forth that he's the basis of men, man.
That's it.
You know?
2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son.
Shalaki, he's being used by the very power that he tries to deny. The power, the very same power that he claims that doesn't exist, it's the same power that's using his ass to fulfill these prophecies, man. Of him being the wicked, man. Come on, man. God likes life.
Continuing on, it says, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so, shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth.
Right. These plagues are literally hitting like a woman in her last seconds before labor. You know? As soon as that baby about to pop out, you know what I'm saying? She starts squeezing the hand tighter and shit. Like, damn.
We see crowning.
Yeah. This is exactly how these plagues are coming.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe about the destruction.
Yeah. This is the segue to actually seeing the Lord that the world thinks is gonna come back with rainbows. They think that the Lord is gonna come back on some sweet shit. Nigga, the earth gonna be on fire.
Christians actually think they're gonna be raptured. You know, they think they're gonna be raptured and it's supposed to be, according to that doctrine, the 7-year tribulation or whatever. Right? Where is that at in the scriptures?
Yo, you gonna have so many Christians on suicide watch during Jacob trouble. Well, niggas gonna be losing it.
Right.
Niggas gonna be like, yo,
They're gonna be looking up like, wow.
why didn't I make it?
I think the Elias Smallback, he brought out a lesson talking about how these Christians are having rapture-induced anxiety attacks, man.
Yeah, that was in the news.
Man.
You know, because they're afraid that they're going to be left behind.
Oh
man.
my God.
Your ass ain't going.
Your ass ain't going. You gonna be right
That's
here.
that's why these Christians be proud, man. Talk about I'm saved already. You know, all that stuff y'all talking about, I'm good. I ain't got to worry about it because I'm saved already. Because they think right when it go down, they gonna be whoop. Like, nah. Jacob's trouble, you gonna be on the earth. You got to go through that. You know?
That's a part of the straight gate.
That's it.
And you trying to come up another way.
Exactly.
Literally, you trying to go up another way.
Right.
Like, hell, I don't want to like that.
We gonna dodge that.
Some of the words.
Even so, shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Right, because you're gonna have death, famine, destruction, chaos, disorder. That's gonna bring forth sorrow, man. Calamity, all types of shit, man. All those movies that came out over the past 10, 15, 20 years that go into the end of society, all that, that's how it's gonna play out. You know, The Purge, I forgot the other joint, it's kind of similar to The Purge, I can't think of the name of it right now. But all these different movies, even the Last of Us that's out right now, it's all dealing with the end time scenario. What was the joint with Will Smith? I Am Legend, right? All those scenarios, man, right? And all those, really, it's all written in the scriptures.
It's unavoidable, man. Hey, we go back to that 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 4. You could just put death for all these things, man. You know, the sword, death, famine, death and destruction, death. All is death, man. The Lord is bringing death to the earth, man. Great death, mass death to everyone out here who's not on his side, man.
But like you said, what's the byproduct of sin? It's death. These niggas live a sinful lifestyle. You don't care about the word of the Lord. You don't try and amend your ways. Wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the earth. Niggas are in gross darkness. Like the wording of the scriptures, the Lord is telling you, look, these niggas long overdue for a kill. The Lord been holding back the sword. He was gracious enough to afford us a grace period, us Israelites, to turn back and serve him before the time got severe. Matter of fact, let me get to 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. So the Lord is literally holding back the things, the good that Israel has, so that Jake can amend their ways and get right. You know, what Jake sees is what we read in Ezekiel 12, you know, the vision faileth and the days are prolonged. Nigga, it's a reason why. So you can get your shit together. You know? You making use of the situation complaining instead of being productive with your grace period, man. You just using it to complain. Oh, it's taking too long. That's your truth. That ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord is using that, right, this grace period for you to get your shit together. Right? But verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up, speaking of the nuclear of destruction. Okay? And the works, right? The fashion, the way how people operated, they thought, all that shit's gonna be done away with, man. You know? So it's like Jake just gotta get their shit together. Now we know 2/3 ain't gonna do it. But to the ones that are hearing this word and it's resonated with their spirit, and subconsciously in the spirit, they know that they need to get their shit together. You bet to do so. Because as we've been going into the lesson, we're near serious times. And these contractions, these birth pains, these plagues are going to continually get closer and closer to the point where that shit's just back to back in your face raw. You know?
everything that's being said is going, of course, is going to be repetitive, right? Saying we were commanded to speak to Jake. Jake is a stiff-necked, hard-headed fucking people, man. You got to drive this message home with the brain, right? You got to reiterate things to Jake, man. That's why when you read the Gospels, right? You had the 12, you had the disciples that gave their account. Basically, they said the same thing, but in different versions. See what I'm saying? But it was repeated. That's what you got to do with Jake, man. You got to give it to our people so they get it. All right, go ahead, man.
So, Romans chapter 13.
No, start it off.
Romans 13 and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Yep.
For now is your salvation nearer than when ye believe.
Come on, man. Salvation is nearer than we believe, man. We don't understand how close salvation really is. Right? With all these psyops and enchantments going out, niggas shooting down satellite balloons. All right? Talking about taking the chariots out, shooting down UFOs.
Fucking up power grids.
Yeah, messing up power grids, EMP attacks.
Contaminating people's food and water supply.
Yeah, man. There's a lot going on, man. So that's how we know, man. This thing is taking off. All this stuff, like little satellite shit, it's probably all acts of war anyway, man. Okay, because this place is about to get invaded. Isaiah 47. All right? Thou shalt not be timid and delicate. Right? Because this place is about to see a major war. This place is going to get invaded, man. Right? That's why you got China that's already bought out parts of the land in the U.S., shit like that. You know, this place is in debt. You know? So it's about to go down. Our salvation is greater than we believe. Finish it up. Chapter.
Verse 12, Romans 13 and 12. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light.
Cast off the works of darkness, the world, sin. Alright? All these alternative religions and false doctrines. It's time to cast it off. Right? Because Isaiah was a 41. Alright? It tells you to produce your cause, bring forth your strong reasons. Right? Because that chapter is really going into the Lord calling out these false idols. Basically, do your idols in what you believe in, or do they give you the declaration of tongues? Do they foretell the promises? Does Allah tell you, what does Allah say about the sea? What does Allah say about the nuclear destruction?
Bro, you don't see them niggas talk about shit.
Nothing. They always talk about the Bible.
This nigga Farrakhan, I see the video of this dude. Literally, every time I see Farrakhan open his fucking mouth, he talking about the Israelites, how we're the Israelites, and he always quoting the Bible.
Exactly.
Niggas ain't never quote the Quran.
That's it. Black consciousness. All their controversy videos is about the Hebrew Israelites in the scriptures. Nobody believing in them black ass Kemet gods, Pan-Africanism. What's that shit they wear on their neck? The unk.
Yeah, that shit go back to a vagina and a penis.
Come on, man. What do them guys got to say? What are those idols, those guys got to say about the prophecies, man, the destruction, all right, Jacob's trouble and all of that?
Absolutely.
Nothing, man. Right? Man. Yeah, watch out.
It's Proverbs 16 and 17. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul.
Yeah, that's it, man. And we are praying that we be preserved in the time of trouble, man. It is the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out. Right, the elect. Okay? Go ahead.
Romans 13 and 13. Let us walk honestly as in the day,
Yep.
not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness.
Yeah, not in partying and bullshit. None of that, man. Walking honestly in the fear of the Lord. Pushing the correct spirit amongst the congregation. Because these other guys, they're pushing party, mirth, let's have fun. We ain't in the time for that, man. right? When they crash the dollar bill, what you gonna do? A lot of these people, they're gonna take that microchip, man. They're gonna take it right in the right hand and the forehead, right? They know it too. Go ahead.
All the niggas that just walk by, they like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Better be right now.
Yeah. They're gonna take it.
Continue on, it says, not in strife and envying.
Yep.
Put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, and make not it's like Romans 13 and 14. But put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, and make not provision for the flesh.
Yeah, this is the time to put on the spirit of Yahweh Shai and make not provision for the flesh. You know, to not seek after the lust of the flesh, man. To keep your flesh in subjection. And let the spirit rule, man. Exercise discipline. Okay? Go ahead.
That's what a disciple is.
That's it. Judgment going out like clockwork, man. Judgment is going down immediately. Right?
But put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof.
That's it, man. It's the time, man. It's the time when we want to be found worthy to stand before the Lord. Right? To be able to escape all these evils that should come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. Right? Job well done, my servant, you know? To receive that crown. That's why the scripture said, let no man take thy crown. Right? So continue to hold on to the prophecies. Continue to stick to what you've been taught. Right? This is a lot of bullshit being thrown at you, man. You know? You gotta kneel that shit. You gotta hit the matrix on that shit, man. Because this devil, he throwing shit at you. These false prophets throwing shit at you. Spiritual demon Satan. These niggas going hard right now, man. They'll get tired, man. Just like us, like the Lord said, give them no rest until we make Jerusalem an establishment in the earth. Right? Because the word is out there. The word has reached the four corners. Right? That's why every platform that's in opposition of the truth, what are they talking about? The Israelites. Where they come from. Where they get their beliefs. Where they originated from. Who was Abba Bivens. What their doctrine is. Alright? Labeling us radicals. And all of that. You know? Extremists, because hey, we're coming into a time of persecution and demonization. We're going to be numbered amongst the transgressors. Right? The scriptures say that we should become offenders for believing in this word. You know, when you believe in this truth, you become a prey. So all these things are going on, and this is what we're warning the congregation of. We're not telling you that, hey, it's time to have fun, let's live it up, let's push marriage, dating, and all that shit. We're in the time of getting right, having protection, putting on the full armor, Ephesians 6 and 10 on down, putting the whole armor on Yahweh Shai, that you may withstand the evil day. Right? You don't go to war without no armor on. Right? Come on, man. This is the time that you got to be fully equipped. Right? Come on, man.
Pistol ain't gonna do nothing for you, bro.
You're right. I might go to hell if I believe in God.
That's an Edomite. That's a straight up Edomite right there.
The first solution he went to was a sword.
That's it. He said, what did he say? I might go to hell if I believe in God. That's what he said.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, this camp is edifying. Everything is centered around biblical prophecy. Right? That's how we know that the words of the scriptures is faithful and true. Right? So we pray that this camp is edifying and we give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders and great millstones who taught us this truth. Double salutations to all who out to labor in the house of David, the elect. Let's push this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers.
Shalom.
Kwame Yasharala.
Kwame Yasharala.
Bob the Ball.
Bob the Ball.